Hello, race fans. Welcome back to the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series. And boy, do we have an exciting weekend to wrap up here. Last time out was Walter White winning at Kansas. Now there are only 6 races left in the year, the final 6. Race 31 of 36 will be here. This is the Talladega Superspeedway. We're getting set for one of premier events in the season. This is the Pepe Craftsman 500. And before we get any further, we gotta go talk about the points scenario. It's a very interesting one. Bob Ross, Harrison Ford, practically neck and neck in points. Only 13 points separating them. Peter Perfect a little ways but back. He's also within a race. Geddy Lee just 1 point out of being a race behind. Billy Nays nipping at his heels for 5th place. But let's go through the starting lineup. We got a very interesting front row. On the outside of the front row, there is last week's winner, Walter White. Starting next to him, Mark Martin, his 57th career pole. And his first in 244 races. That's dating back to the second race in 2013. That was Phoenix in a race Carl Edwards won. Ironically enough, Carl Edwards withdrew from the race. We'll get to that shortly. Meanwhile, Crow T Robot will start next to Denzel Washington, whose team is out of funding and is shutting down after the year. Denzel Washington, however, appears likely to take over the 32. There's your points leader, Bob Ross. Next, the Bela Fleck. Both Woodpecker Racing entries will start on row number 4. There's Woody Woodpecker and Rick Mast. Then Hut Strickland, yes. If you didn't realize there are part-time drivers this week, Mast and Strickland are some. Harrison Ford, the 97 was rewrapped. It was originally the 50 for Carl Edwards. Carl was fast enough, but Harrison Ford was not. And was right in second place in the points. That would have been devastating if he missed. So they made the call. There's the 2 drivers who battled it out at the end of the year for the championship, Richard Simmons and Donald Fagen. Then John Cena and Al Roker. In your next row, Marco Polo and Casper the Friendly Ghost. Say, John. Okay, what are you doing, camera? Friendly Ghost. And Snoop Dogg and Stephen Hawking. Rounding out the top 20, Alfred Hitchcock and Morgan Freeman. Iggy Koopa is going to start next to Kathy Bates. Then Burt Reynolds and Tom Hanks. Woody Harrelson will start next to Al Capone. And then George Lazenby starts next to another part-time driver, Spencer Fillmore. He's in the 57 Heinz car. Then Tom Jones starts next to the Renault of Daniel Ricciardo with Pirelli tires. Peter Perfect will start next to Chick Corea, another part-timer. Then Joe Biden, winningest driver, will start next to Phil Swift, who's driving with Hoosier tires. Billy Mays will start next to the legend himself, Cole Trickle. And then Francis Brown in General Tire sponsored and General Tire equipped Buick will start next to Truck Series Talladega winner this year, Peter Onjak. Then Geddy Lee and Ann Wilson will round out the field. Will round out the top 40. Rounding out the field, Dave Marcus, who just was off pace in the second round of qualifying. That's why he's last. Will start next to Jeff Lynne. A laundry list of did not qualifies, including a Brendan Gaughan you might not have noticed was here. Ferris Bueller missed. Stephen George, who was the only rookie to have made every single race, along with Hank Hill.
Drivers, stop your engines!
Tony Stark, the defending winner of this race, failed to qualify. Marty McFly, did I say him or did I say Bueller? Ian Anderson is out. And Telly Savalas. Both of your David Pearson 500 winners. Well, it was the Dan Gurney 500 when Telly Savalas won, but that's no biggie. David Landon, Sir Topham Hat. And then Carl Edwards, of course, pretty much, well, it was a driver change. And then also missing the field for the part-time drivers was Michael Andretti. Pastor Maldonado in another Renault entry. Tim Foster, unfortunately. Natalie Decker. Not a huge surprise there. Blaze Alexander. Mark Webber in the lone Toyota to enter. I think I said last weekend Toyota was coming back, but they had done... But they had a... You gonna sort yourself out? George Lazenby, you're being an idiot. Anyway, they had been doing some part-time this year. Then Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Rick Harrison, and Sammy Hagar, last week's Melling Series winner. Okay. George Lazenby is just gonna pit for no reason, so I'm not running through all that again. Tough. So that's, I believe, 20 cars DNQ'd. As you can see, we nearly had second in points, did not qualify, which is why the top 35 rule is going to be coming back next year. Well, after the first race. First race is going to still be that special qualifying and the duels, and it'll be provisionals, and you won't necessarily be locked in. But if you're top 35 in owner points, you will be locked in for races 2 through 5. Which I believe is the entirety of the West Coast swing next year. I could be wrong. I will get you those details in a little bit. What is important is your 3 keys to win this race. Avoid the big one. Avoid the big one. And, of course, avoid the big one. Pace car. About haul down the pit road. Yes, indeed, it is the West Coast swing. Phoenix, California, Sonoma, and Texas World with 2020 owners' points getting locked in will commence at Homestead, the 6th race of the season. Here we go. Green flag now being displayed. We're underway in the Pepe Craftsman 500. Beating and banging already in the back between Billy Mays and Cole Trickle. Trickle going to the outside. Now he guts back down to the inside. Francis Brown triggered the first of the 2 big ones in the whatchamacallit, the Orange Crush 400 at Daytona. That race only saw 9 drivers finish. Snoop Dogg won that. Dave Marcus finished 6th, the last car in the lead lap. All those freaking cars were out before the halfway. They're already 4 wide. And there's Harrison Ford. Oh, that's not good. So you can see, the leader of the first, Mark Martin might be on the pole, but Denzel Washington trying to go out with a bang. The Jake Hoyt Enterprises 14, points-wise, has been struggling. But it's shown decent speed. Oh, Tom Hanks and Stephen Hawking are getting in hairy situations here. Guys, keep it. No, they wreck behind him. Richard Simmons around. Up in the air. Damage for Chick Corea. Billy Mays involved. Al Roker. Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. Jeff Lynne. He's one of the Talladega winners in the field. Marco Polo. Morgan Freeman. Kathy Bates. Caution is out. And it's going to be Harrison Ford getting the race led back to the line. That's going to be bonus points. Bonus points time. Now, the big stack up of 2019. They have to slow down and sort out in the line. And not run into the back of each other. I don't know why they can't just sort themselves into two lines and then sort themselves into a single line. Luckily, there wasn't a whole lot of cars involved. Really, maybe 9 cars. Ooh, a little bit of beating and banging here under the yellow. Fortunately, 2 of the 5 Rush Fender cars are involved. At least once really banged up. See, a lot of damage to the 88. The 55-17, the 3 all wrinkled up. Now everybody is going low. Not sure how many pit stops there's going to be, but there's going to be a few pit stops. Lap 3. Oh, it's really interesting that they're going to come down now. I guess they thought everybody thinks that they were just short of making it on however many laps. As you can see, Harrison Ford. We go to your pit lane 1 cam. As you can see, Woody Woodpecker is going to take over the lead. And some big jostling. What was Hut Strickland doing? Was he taking a swipe at Walter White? Crow. Oh no, Crow was involved in it. Oh my god. Francis Brown trying to take a swipe at the... Out of the race. Nobody yet. That's good. That's always a good sign. And there's pretty much everybody. Marco Polo, Richard Simmons. Oh! Kathy Bates and Al Roker have pulled it behind the wall. Richard Simmons, among others, look like they were able to sort out. There's Dave Marcus, Francis Brown, Daniel Ricciardo involved in some shit again. Excuse my language. That was very unprofessional. Oh. 4 wide, just trying to sort at 40 miles an hour. Just trying to sort themselves out. While they do that, let us go back and... So we were predicting it was going to happen. We're going to go to helicopter for this. Oh! No wonder why. As you can see, you know, it's Kathy Bates and Marco Polo squeezed together. Oh, Chick Corea got involved. It was a 9 to 10 car accident. 40 cars still in the race is big. So, yeah, it's really big. It's a welcome sight from the laundry list of casualties we had last time we took to a plate race. That was, of course, that summer 4th of July Independence Day weekend race that we were mentioning. And there goes another driver. No, I'm just talking to myself. What an uncanny resemblance. Anyway, Woody Woodpecker, your leader. Forgot to mention, is the defending winner at this track. Now it's very interesting. Harrison Ford running second. As of right now, he'd be the points leader. Bob Ross would need to be fourth right now, and he is not. Third's Casper, the friendly ghost. Fourth is Snoop Dogg. Fifth is Mark Martin. Caused a very interesting scenario last week at Kansas. Really compromised his teammates' chances of winning the race. Denzel Washington runs sixth. Bela Fleck in seventh. It is all but confirmed that he will be reuniting with Warwick Davis next year as Warwick Davis seeks to bolster Toyota. That'd be a third full-time car for Toyota as Red Bull is going to be coming back, and Raven West will be running full-time. They'll be fielding the 02 for Rick Scott and the 01 for Nathan McCain. Scott will be running full-time, McCain part-time. Anyway, there's Alfred Hitchcock in the 43 in 8th. 9th is Hut Strickland, who will likely be moving back to the 90 car he piloted just 18 years ago for next season. There he is in the 23. That was the last car he had driven for his retirement in 2002, and then he came out, And Woody Harrelson's in 10. Probably going to be the landing spot for somebody. Somebody's landing in the 11. Woody Harrelson is probably going to that 32. Then who we got? Donald Fagen in 11th. John Cena 12th. Spencer Fillmore, good run for him so far in 13th. Tom Hanks 14th. There's points leader Bob Ross in 15th. Then Walter White, Rick Mast, Tom Jones, the guy who beat Rick Mast for his first career win at Indy. Stephen Hawking, Joe Biden, quickly running through the rest of the field. You see Peter Onjak, you see Francis Brown, Danny Rick, Dave Marcus. Ooh. That's a concern. Fuel pickup issue, maybe briefly. Electrical issue, we're hearing. 27 and an electrical issue. It's not looking like the day he wanted. This team is going to be returning to full-time competition next year. Chicoria will be moving up to run for Rookie of the Year. This is basically his testing the waters race. The green flag is back out. Unfortunately, he's going to be slow as molasses. Phil Swift, as you can see, he's dropping. These guys fanning out. They look really awkward. Already, Snoop Dogg has made a pass. And there goes Mark Martin down low. He has not won since Bristol. That's actually not terribly far away. That was only about 6 races ago. Michigan was another 10 races before that. But before that, it was nearly 10 whole years. Anyway, Harrison Ford looking to lead gonna lead another lap. Mark Martin in second. Denzel Washington third. Don't look now. Here comes Hut Strickland. Strickland push from Woody Harrelson. At 23, actually, basically a second car for Flecktones Racing this year. They've also been flirting with entering a third car for Wee Man. That'd be numbered 37 and not 22 like expected. Bob Ross with an aggressive move. He's trying to get in front, try and stay in front of Harrison Ford. But here comes Hut Strickland, pretty much the last member of the Alabama gang. The crowd's on their feet. He's the nephew of Donnie. It's part of that second. But no, he's not going to lead the lap. Here comes Woody Harrelson. Hut Strickland denied. Decent pack here. About 27 cars. Rest all damaged or some case. I guess Tom Jones just got caught out at the wrong time. You know, Stephen Hawking, Jeff, there's Dave Marcus back here. I think some of these drivers just got, like Marcus and Freeman look like they have pace. Oh, no pace for the 95. Something critically wrong for Phil Swift. Now Walter White, he will deny Bob Ross of any bonus points. That's big. That's big. Now Alfred Hitchcock coming along on the inside, and look at that. There's Peter Onjak driving the 70. Onjak dives to the inside. In the yellow transportation. Chevrolet. He's going. He's going even farther. Onjak wants to lead a lap. That would be at least a little victory for him. Oh! Oh! Ann Wilson somehow saves it. Peter Onjak, I think. No? Apparently he didn't lead that lap. What were you doing, Walter White? I don't know how Ann Wilson saved that, but she's going to lose the draft because of it. Lovely. Now they're 4 wide. Rick Mast and Donald Fagen very close together. Onjak once again now in front of the field. They fan out for Hut Strickland bounces off the safer barrier slightly. Is he going to lose the draft because of this? He's definitely. Look who else is back here. Harrison Ford is back. These guys. Ford better pick it up soon. Strickland better fall in line. It's not a place you want to be, is hanging out back here. Peter Onjak did lead that lap. He was able to hold off a challenge from Al Capone. Joe Biden in the second now. Here comes Francis Brown with a push from Cole Trickle. Cole Trickle in an alternate universe was a former Daytona 500 champion. Or David Pearson 500, as we know. Onjak running really high. They're 4 wide. Is Al Capone, man named Al Capone, will make the leader of the lap known as his own. That was. Well, anyway, 26 car main pack. Really 23, 24 now. Maybe 25. Hut Strickland, slight straggler. Bob Ross, not. He's rubbing fenders with Snoop Dogg. It's not a good. Bob Ross, probably. That is actually, yes, I believe that might be the car that actually won it last year. Won this race last year. He probably gave himself the good equipment over Tony Stark. For, well, obvious reasons. Cole Trickle, anyways, they're coming up on Phil Swift. But now, Bela Fleck shoots out towards the lead. Heading down the backstretch. Now it's going to be very interesting when they do come up on on the 95. John Cena. He's going low. He's searching now. Woody Harrelson staying in the draft. Oh, but there comes Phil Swift. An inopportune time. Now he's going to hold up everybody. Bela Fleck. Probably leading by an entire second. Everybody jockeying around. This might string the field out. Now, whether or not... You'll definitely want to get by quickly, otherwise you have a chance at missing the draft. Woody Harrelson. Oh! Phil Swift nearly took out Peter Onjak. Francis Brown trying to get her. Woody Harrelson. Phil Swift must have some Bob Ross is being blocked. Oh no! Trouble for our points leader. Can he get down in time? Yes. They all get by. Bela Fleck still, they're 3 wide for like second. There's Harrison Ford. You can see. Gonna be interesting to see how much this group can regroup. And there's Chick Corea. You can see Harrison Ford in the viewfinder. Hut Strickland trying to make. Dave Marcus has moved his way in the 27th. He needs, he would need a yellow. They'd still need yellows. Speaking of possible yellows, the field stacked up as they come aboard. As they catch Chick Corea, you can see. Oh, looks like maybe your top 20 are gonna form their own pack. That's gonna spell really bad news for Bob Ross. Nope, they're gonna catch him. So Washington. Hut Strickland was able to cycle back to this front mini group. There's Peter Onjak. George Lazenby, we haven't talked about him. It looks like he'll probably return to full time. Though it's very possible he's been racing this whole time under a pseudonym. We're past the third mark, so it should be 3 stops at max. Even if they were to come down like right now, it'd still likely be a 3-stop race. At max. I'm thinking it's probably gonna maybe be a 2-stop, or maybe it depends when these drivers will come down. They pitted under yellow. Well, at lap 3. That leaves them 44 laps, so 25, I would say, would be the key. 26 would be even better, because that's factoring in all the caution laps. They're 4 wide, once again. Phil Swift pits. Peter Onjak was the leader. That could tell us of our fuel ranges. We do have more drivers pitting. Richard Simmons, Peter Perfect, Jeff Lynn, Daniel Ricciardo. Jeff Lynn, a former winner here. Cooper Morgan Free. Harrison Ford. Oh, and this is interesting. I believe he was the only driver in this front pack to pit. And he has no drafting help. More drivers will pit this time by Woody Woodpecker, Walter White, Hut Strickland, Mark Martin, Tom Hanks, Woody Harrelson, Donald Fagen, Crow, Alfred Hitchcock, Francis Brown, and Joe Biden out of your front runners. Denzel Washington leads. 7, 8, 9. Maybe 10 cars of the so-called front pack. only if Bob Ross is to he's a straggle. Oh. Peter Onjak still hasn't pitted. This should be very interesting. Oh, he is going to pit. That's good news. Onjak comes down. Geddy Lee, Al Capone, Cole Trickle, Francis Spencer Fillmore stays out. That's a big surprise. And Spencer Fillmore. What is Fillmore? I would assume an overcut if you're gonna undercut by yourself. You might get lucky and work, like Harrison Ford. But you're overcutting, then you're gonna be on the not fresher rubber, so you're gonna be slower. That's not a good idea. So I don't know what Spencer Fillmore's thinking. But then again, it's probably his crew chief's fault. Next car is gonna be on. It's gonna be Woody Woodpecker versus Peter Onjak. Ooh, this is gonna be very interesting. Oh, and they pitted around. It's a 3-stop race. Oh man, if Chick Corea had pitted there as we were coming to green, that might have been a good spot. Well, Al Capone. There's Spencer Fillmore. He's technically your race leader. He did lead that lap. But it's going to be Al Capone and Peter Onjak. Your two leaders at the moment when they cycle out. Peter Onjak's only making a second star. Al Capone's making his 67th, but so they've got 60, yeah, they got 67 combined starts. Neither of these drivers won. That means combined coming out of today, it'll be 69. Okay. But they're going to get caught, it looks like. So they're going to have Tom Hanks, Geddy Lee, Walter White, Cole Trickle, Casper the Ghost, Woody Woodpecker, Hut Strickland, Harrison Ford, Joe Biden, Francis Brown. Spencer Fillmore being really slow is going to cost Snoop Dogg and George Lazenby a chance of catching. And some of these drivers they're going to. But you did hear Harrison Ford and not Bob Ross. Dave Marcus has jumped Bob Ross. I just gonna put that in a perspective. As here comes Tom Hanks to the inside of Peter Onjak. And he goes to the inside of Al Capone trying to lead here. 5-car pack. Tom Hanks will lead. Coming down the back straightaway, going into turn 3, is going to mark the halfway point in today's race. So at the line, we will be official. Tom Hanks, he hasn't won since Richmond. Actually, remember, he won Richmond, and the very next race was the Dr. Pepper 600, and if I remember correctly, he failed to qualify for that one. Cole Trickle and Casper the Ghost up here. Hut Strickland. Looks like Harrison Ford, Woody Woodpecker, and Joe Biden will also be up here. Francis Brown, he's just going to be just short. Anyway, Al Capone leads that lap. And they're coming up on the Dodge of Peter Perfect, as well as the Dodge of Phil Swift, who has no speed. Marco Polo's coming up on these guys. I was gonna ask which one's gonna get caught first, but yeah. Cole Trickle clears the 40. The 9. The 46 clears the 9. Oh, this actually might. Oh, Francis Brown's way behind. I was gonna say this gonna help him catch up, but not when he's 2 seconds behind. Oh, this is gonna really hurt. This will really hurt Al Capone. Trickle leading. Hut Strickle in the second with a push from Harrison Ford and Joe Biden. Ford's got almost. No, he's got 4 wins. Same with Joe Biden. Hut Strickle. That's over just the past 2 years. Hut Strickland's never won his career. Geddy Lee's got like 3 wins. Woodpecker with 2. Tom Hanks with 4 or 5. Casper's number 1. Walter White's got 2. Your new leader, Harrison Ford. He's probably trying for this most laps led bonus that Al Capone's probably in the running for. So is Woody Woodpecker. At that point, he just needed to finish ahead of Bob Ross to at least tie for the points lead. If it's a 3-point... No, he'd have it outright because... Well, no. Not if he doesn't win. Anyway, now to the lead goes another Rush Fender car. That's Geddy Lee as they're coming up on Phil Swift. Oh, give me strength. Geddy Lee races by. Meanwhile, the rest of the field just held up by the 95. Blue flags waving wildly. Their momentum just killed, but now they're starting to file through. Harrison Ford, go low. And he's not, because he's an idiot. No, there he goes. Peter Perfect is going to get up here because of this. Might really hurt. Phil Swift, no clue what he... And Tom Hanks going to take the long way around. That's going to really hurt him. Geddy leads another laps. Chick Corea and Marco Polo. Marco Polo is not able to catch these guys' drift. You see, there's Daniel Ricciardo. Real quick look around the track. You see Rick Mast, who had a promising race. Dave Flack. There's Dave Marcus. There's where Mark Martin's hanging. These cars, you can tell by their speed. The exception may be the same. I don't know. They get a caution, these drivers, as long as they can clear. Well, the dudes will be on the... Should be good. Peter Onjak had led that time by. Sweet. Inside of 20 laps to go. Cole Trickle to the race lead. Still likely one more set of pit stops. Coming up in around 10 laps. Those will be the money stops. Whoever of these 11 is going to have the best pit stops are going to be the drivers in position to win this race. Pit stops, of course, including the in and out laps. Where they come out, who they come out with, and how fast they are when they come out with these other drivers will affect it, as well as if anybody is held up by Chick Corea or Marco Polo. Marco Polo's 36, the last car on the lead lap at the moment. Only Phil Swift, Peter Perfect, and Chick Corea have gotten lapped yet. Now Marco Polo on the dossier. Walter White, Tom Hanks race by. Now Woody Woodpecker clears both of them. Casper, Hut Strickland. There goes Onjak. Harrison Ford getting held up on the high side by his teammate. Geddy Lee also getting held up a bit. Capone by, Trickle by, Lee by. Joe Biden is going to get by. Everybody but Harrison. Now there goes Harrison Ford. Your leader that time by was the Hanks known as Tom. And a big wad of 5 cars. Go ahead. They're only about about 10 seconds or so up the road. They're only gaining them by a second. They probably are going to pit by the time they reach them. Hanks leads as we go on board the 12. And see, he's got to stay looking for a place to get by and get down. What a weird GMAC look. Got to decide who you're going to go with. You're going to go with the 32, you're going to go with your teammate in the 99. Actually, no, I was thinking this is Harrison Ford. This is Joe Biden. See, Cole Trickle was getting a bit of a run. Joe Biden trying to force it 4 wide. Clean and green so far. Aside that, second lap or whatever. Melee. Tom Hanks and Al Capone now in the second. Geddy Lee in third. Joe Biden is going to work his way up into fourth. Can he get around Casper the Friendly Ghost? We haven't even talked about what this pack is made up of. We've got a decent mix of different drivers. You got your 2 Pontiacs, so Walter White and Casper the Ghost. What do you got in the line of Fords? You got 3 Fords, but there's 3 Fords you know you can get it done. How many Chevrolets are... Oh! Well, Hut Strickland, Peter Onjak, and Harrison Ford making a big strategy call. That was a Chevy and a Dodge. Cole Trickle is going to lose the draft because of that. Was another Chevy. There's one other Chevy and 2 Dodges here. And that is why you got to be kept on your toes. If you're at the back of the pack and the 3 cars ahead of you are all heading down pit road, it's probably a good idea if you head down with them. Otherwise, you're going to get Cole Trickled like that there. Good pit stop for Hut Strickland. There's Harrison Ford. There's Peter Onjak. He might be a little bit farther behind. He is a little bit. Onjak might be out of it at this point. That's the main problem with these restrictor plates, is they're hard to get up to speed coming off of pit road. You can see most everybody else has come down. A few other drivers have stayed out. Out of the big pack, it was Casper the Friendly Ghost and Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee almost reaching Peter Onjak. Lee is going to be smart. He could have tried to use his momentum to get around the outside, but if he's pitting, that would have been spelled disaster. So probably allow Casper the Friendly Ghost to close in a little bit. There is Harrison Ford. He's getting close to Hot Strickland. Tom Hanks is your virtual leader of this group and will likely end up ahead of the 70s of the 23. Hot Strickland, what he should have. You better get down below the draft of this 44 and try to use it to sling him. These guys definitely have linked up. Geddy Lee, your leader, but here comes Tom Hanks. He's the third place driver. He's going to assume the race lead when we come back to the line. And then there will only be 10 laps of racing left. Hanks with a gargantuan lead, as you can see, but for how long can he hold this? Oh, but here's the thing. He's got these guys as drafting help. Did Hanks only take 2 tires? And we'll put Danny Rick a lap off pace. Then you got really your second pack here. Your guys hoping to reel them in. Your Geddy Lee, Walter White, Al Capone, Hut Strickland, Woody Woodpecker. Maybe Harrison Ford, Casper the Ghost, Joe Biden, Cole Trickle, Woody Harrelson, Peter. Look at Dave Marcus. He started last, and oh my goodness, he's just been slinging his way up in not in points, but on positions. He's just been slinging his way up after every pit stop. And these guys are, ooh, what is Hut Strickland doing? What is Richard Simmons doing being another roadblock? Hut's really got to make an aggressive, and he did not. Hut just oh, there he goes. Hut's got to regain his speed mojo quickly. He's got to catch back up to get the back in the draft to the 99 and 44, not have it broken. And these three need to just stay out of the way. Need to dive low only to offer drafting assistance and get out of the way when they get close. But Tom Hanks is definitely not out of the woods. Here comes Geddy Lee with a head of steam. Maybe not, because he got caught between the lappers. You can see a lot of caution comes out. It's going to be fair. Get out of the way, Billy Mays. Hut needs to win this. To get his first career win, that is. Tom Hanks, he is your race leader. Al Capone is up here. He's never won. Neither is Hut Strickland. They're your best opportunities. Maybe Casper and Cole Trickle back here. As well as Woody Harrelson, Peter Onjak. Crow, I believe, has a win. Francis Brown does not. This is your second pack, and it's looking mighty fine. There's 9-car pack. Your race leader, Al Capone. As you can see, 6 cars battling out for a win with 5. We got 5 lapped stragglers. That will play a factor. 2 more laps. With 7 to go, Walter White to the lead. Who will get around Morgan Freeman and Stephen Hawking. Well, none of these guys are teammates to any of these top 6. And out of these guys, of these straggling lappers, the only ones that are teammates to any, yeah, there's a couple. Tom Hanks, Walter White trying to find a way around the 20 and the 48 on the high side. It's not working. What is working is low. Woody Woodpecker trying to sweep Talladega. Al Capone hooking up with Hut Strickland. I'm pretty sure the 44 and the 23 would be content to race it out besides themselves and whoever is the better driver over the last 3 laps, the one deserved. Oh no! Phil Swift rearing his ugly head once again as he goes gonna go a 3rd lap now. Al Capone and Hut Strickland keep up all momentum as they go by on the outside, but here comes Tom Hanks. Oh, car on the apron. Tom Jones is slowing. A problem on the 5 occurring with just 5 laps to go in the race. He's far enough off the racing surface that we should stay clean and green, however. Back to the front of the pack. It's a 3-car breakaway. 2 more trying to reel him in. They will reel him in. It looks like a 5-car battle for the win. Walter White held up. 2 Fords, 2 Dodges, and a Chevy. Tom Hanks has won some pretty. He won the biggest race of his career just about a month ago. He won the Southern 500. Now he's going to try and win at Talladega. Geddy Lee underneath Hut Strickland for the 3rd spot. This is it. 3 laps. At this point, if a caution were to come out, it'd be the first one back to the line would win. Chick Corea might. Chick Corea's gonna get caught. Marco Polo possibly might get caught. Geddy Lee to the lead after Tom Hanks led that lap. Here comes Hut Strickland. I would say you'd want to be the first car in line to hit when guys hit Chick Corea, but it depends where you reach him at. There, the difference. You see Hut Strickland being taken 3 wide in the middle. And this is the time you just want to be in. 99 and the 31 are held up. Everybody is held up. The run's blended. 2 to go. Hut Strickland to the inside of Tom Hanks. Will take 2nd. Hanks' run stunted a little bit there. Al Capone in 5th. Geddy Lee will lead off the corner. Who's going to be the first to make a move? Al Capone looks. Woody Woodpecker dives to the inside of the 23. Strickland was caught napping and it's going to cost him. Will it? Yes. No. Strickland clears the 21. But has not made a move on the 99 yet. Now Hanks is going to take a spot. Strickland might be content to ride around in 2nd. Although I wouldn't. Especially not when the white flag is waving. Oh, you can see a big train. These guys are... Oh, a few more laps and these guys would be catching them. Strickland needs a great run coming down. Tom Hanks going to the inside of Hut Strickland. Hut Strickland not throwing a block. Strickland was content to ride the coattails of Geddy Lee, and it'll cost him a chance at the win. They're gonna catch Marco Polo right at the end. Marco Polo gonna block for his teammate Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee slowed up. Here comes Hot Strickland. No! Hot Strickland stayed too close to the line of cars, and Geddy Lee is going to win the Pepe Craftsman 500. Finish for 6. Walter White's up here. Harrison Ford 10th. Bob Ross 19th. And that is big. Bob Ross lost the points lead to Harrison Ford as Geddy Lee wins. Oh. Marco Polo nearly cost his own teammate a win. 2 weeks in a row, a lap rush fender car was interfering in the waning stages of a teammate's chances at win, but this time the 99 is able to take it to victory lane. Hot Strickland just shy of his first career win. Geddy Lee, he's gonna be within a race of the points lead now. That's his second win on the season. That is exactly what Geddy Lee needed. Geddy Lee. What the mad lad. Francis Brown doing goodness knows what. For goodness knows what reason. Geddy Lee, his 4th career win. This is the biggest stage of his career, I believe. Francis Brown just puttering around. He somehow finished well. Believe the highest rookie in this race. Yeah. Beating out Cole Trickle by spot. 26 cars on the lead lap. Alfred Hitchcock retired while nobody noticed. There's your final results. That was big. 5 races to go after this. Next week, all 3 series are going to rock your world because they'll be at Rockingham. In particular, the Vernors Cup Series will be here for the Pet Rock 400. Congratulations to your new points leader, Harrison Ford, and Geddy Lee, who's won his 4th career race. Hut Strickland coming up just shy. But then again, if he had made a move on that final lap, he might have been caught behind the 16. Geddy Lee, your winner. We will see you next time on the Western Caves Sports Network.